Om Shanti. The love or the romance which we do with these materialistic world or people is lasting for now or then. But the romance which is done with that Almighty is everlasting and forever. If we talk about marriage, what is marriage and what's the purpose behind that marriage? The basic purpose behind marriage is to help each other and understand each other, but the truth behind is that no marriage can be completed without God's love. It cannot be successful without God's love. Couples in even the closest relationship are very secretive and keep themselves. In the beginning, they share everything, but when they start to have difference and quarrels, they withdraw and put up a wall around themselves. Where has their love gone? Two young people say they will die if they cannot be together. But if suddenly one of them become old and grey, where would that love be? What is it they love? The soul? Or what's their love? Actually, their love is conditional. Their love is materialistic. But when we find Him, when our heart is in tune that Almighty, then whatever He tells us to do is absolutely right. It is a proverb that without feeling pain, you cannot do love. But this proverb is for only this materialistic world, only for the people, only for the body. But the love, peace and the happiness which we will get on God cannot be expressed in words. And there is no pain, no fear in His love. The only lasting happiness, peace and love is found only and only with the God. Because His love is non-conditional. He loves me not because of due to some condition, but unconditionally He loves me. But people used to say it impossible, but it is not so. We have only made ourselves to think it as impossible. After all, we all are the child of that creation, and we used to say Him as our Father. So the qualities of a father also within us are, but perhaps the problem is only that we have forgotten our qualities. There is no other way to talk Him. Only the way is to just sit quietly. Then we should tune our frequency with that frequency. This is the easiest way to tune with that Almighty, that we should tune our frequency with that frequency and realize ourselves as a soul, not as a body. Because when we consider ourselves as a body, we will go in this materialistic world. But if we feel ourselves as a soul and He is the divine soul, that's it, then we will really tune with that Almighty. The power of God isn't within us. So why we are wasting our time for a time being pleasure? We should go to the very source it if we want to remain in that happiness, peace and lovable being for all time. But it does not mean that the disease and suffering will not come. Mostly people consider and warn that if we tune with that frequency, we should never have any problem. But this is not true. The problem or the disease or the situation will come, but short-lived. And we feel it just like nightmare of the world. Because these all things will come and appear in front of us because due to our past thing, due to our past births, or due to our destiny that we have done something wrong. But when we are persistent every day in showing that we love Him above all things, then whenever we wish anything, it will happen. But this we have to show that we love Him behind everything. In the desire for money, sex, human love, what we are actually seeking for, the only answer come is happiness. We want happiness behind all of these things. But have we ever got it? only with these things? No. If anyhow got, it's only a time being, because we want a thing until we have it. When we get it, the pleasure diminishes until the joy is gone. But the real joy and happiness is with that God, which is everlasting and cannot be faded with the passage of time. When we match our frequency with that frequency, we find that He is the nearest of the near, dearest of the dear, closest of the close. We can tell Him anything that is in our mind, and He really gives answer. Who else could love like that? He is always behind us, knocking at the gates of our life, waiting to get in. The greatest romance we can have in the romance with the God. Human love goes away in the little or while, but our romance with God is real.